Hey, real estate rock stars, welcome to the whole enchilada of real estate investing, the only podcast that serves up the full feast of street smart strategies to build wealth and take control of your financial future. I'm Lou Brown, and I've been in the real estate game since 1976, so I've learned how to make the whole plate worth it. Each week, I'll be dishing out creative financing hacks and proven systems that help investors build multi-million-dollar businesses. No fluff, just the good stuff, straight from the source. Ready to dig in and start making deals? Let's get to it. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the whole enchilada of real estate investing with Lou Brown. And wow, today I have someone amazing that you're going to really enjoy meeting. And it's Mr. Jeremy Beland from up in New Hampshire. Hello, my friend.
Hey, Lou. Thanks for having me on your show today. It's a great honor. I appreciate the introduction.
Yeah, baby. So tell us a little bit about yourself as we get started.
Sure. I'm 49 years old as we record this today. I've been in business, just about to start our 10th year in real estate. Started when I was 40, decided to, it's kind of a long story, but, at 40 years old, I decided to sell my townhouse. I was a divorced single dad with 2 kids and decided that I wanted to get into wholesaling and join a wholesaling coaching program and start my journey there because starting to feel that I was becoming a little vulnerable as I got older and been through a lot. The Great Recession was one of those things that kind of knocked me down in life, and I rebounded from that and did not want to have my future in the hands of somebody else other than myself. So while working a full-time job, I decided to sell my townhouse. I pulled out some equity out of that house, put $5,000 into a coaching program, $6,000 went into my initial marketing spend of direct letters, written postcard to absentee owners, and setting up my LLC and contracts. And next thing I know, I had a $5,000 assignment fee 90 days later. Started that January 2017, went on to do 10 deals that year for a modest $73,000. But hey, with the foundation of something great was built. My wife now, my girlfriend then, at the end of that year, quit a job, went all in. And a couple of years later, I quit my job, went all in. As we stand here today recording this, wrapping up our 9th year, we're on the brink of hitting 500 off-market closed transactions, $12 million in gross profits. I've done things in 6 different states. We have a small, modest portfolio of rental properties in different parts of the country, and we focus on off-market acquisitions direct to the seller. And we buy them and using other people's money. Sometimes we wholesale them. Sometimes we wholetail them. Sometimes we use creative financing. Sometimes we burr them. We flip them. All of the above. So we're all about the front end is getting deals from the seller and find multiple exit strategies on the back end.
Man, so you definitely do the whole enchilada.
The whole enchilada. Yes, yes, sir.
It's a beautiful thing, and I love that you're focused on single family and small multifamily because that's our world as well. And we definitely are believers in cash now, cash flow, and cash forever. So it sounds like that's your world as well.
Yeah, we're probably a little more transactional than what you guys are, but we have a marketing machine up and running, and marketing can be challenging. But yeah, that's what we do. And then also, I run a coaching business that I've run for a couple of years under the REI Freedom brand that I basically teach people doing the same. A lot of them come in as newbie wholesalers. We'll teach them how to get up and running as wholesalers, which I like because it makes you focus on how to get really good at finding the deal. And again, real estate's nothing unless you are really good at finding the deal. But we don't stop there. Then we help them build a business, our true business, where they can start maximizing revenue on the back end with different exit strategies as well. Sometimes those are newbies. Sometimes they're people that come in with already a lot of experience or some experience. And sometimes it's just the acquisition guys that come in and get sales training from us. So we do a little bit of everything on that side, but I love real estate. Obviously it's work, but it never feels like work.
Amen. Amen. When you love what you're doing, it's just a hobby. I call it a hobby.
A great hobby that I get paid for to do every day.
That's right. A highly profitable hobby. That's the right attitude. Isn't it?
I love it.
So guys, Listen, you're learning from somebody that's been there, done that, been able to create an amazing business in a short period of time, and really 12 million in gross profits. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's quite exciting. And coming from nothing, coming from no background, no experience in real estate, being able to jump in and cause things to happen, learning and sharing, how education is very important. And you jumped in, you got the education, you got the support, and then you went about doing exactly what you were told to do.
And well, I would say education not only was important for me to get into real estate to begin with, but it's been a backbone of our success since then. I've always invested in ongoing coaching, mentorship, training, masterminds, not just for myself, for the key team members that have been part of our businesses along the way. So yes, I am a coach, but even before I was a coach, I was a big believer that coaching is a shortcut to success. I know some people don't feel that way, but that's how I feel. And then pretty much anybody that I've ever seen have success in real estate has had mentorship help them get there. It's very rare to find somebody with consistent success in real estate that hasn't had mentorship.
Well, Jeremy, that's a great point. And, something that I always tell folks is, look, you will pay for it one way or the other. So
Yes,
if you
sir.
think you're going to bypass the investment in coaching, okay, go do your own thing and have fun with that. Because imagine having somebody watching you and saying, hold on, that's not a good move. And I got hundreds of stories on coaching calls where, we're able to perceive exactly the direction that somebody's going in, and they miss the point. They miss the opportunity. And we go, hold on. You got something sitting right in front of you that's highly profitable. Let's take a look at this. And I just enjoy that process,
Me too.
digging in and really being able to be of support for folks. Now, tell me, you mentioned that one of the ways that was really highly successful in a short period of time for you is jumping into the marketing. Let's talk about marketing for a moment, because that sounds like what you've been able to master with investing in 6 different states, different markets, doing all kinds of things over the past 10 years. Tell us about what you do in the marketing arena.
Yeah, I'll say I wouldn't say I necessarily master marketing. I'm okay at it at times. It ebbs and flows. Honestly, marketing is the most challenging part of our business, because what people don't understand about marketing, and for people listening that may not understand what marketing is in our business, it comes in various forms, right? There's outgoing cold lead marketing, and those things are like cold calling, direct mail, text messaging, door knocking. And then there's inbound lead marketing, lead gen, which could be like TV commercials, radio commercials, SEO, search engine optimization, where people searching, buy who buys houses for cash in your neighborhood, pay per click, pay per lead, right? So there's various ways you can generate leads, and some of those marketing channels cost a lot more than others. Some of them are a lot more effective than others. And, but when you get started out, you don't really have a lot of experience. So you have to really focus a lot on the cold lead generation. And sometimes those lead conversion cycles can be 6 months, meaning when a lead comes into the door and when it actually closes, the average time frame could be 6 months on a cold call lead or a direct mail lead on nature. Whereas PPC and TV commercials could be 45 to 90 days. So, what another thing to understand about marketing is, because I am, say, kicking butt in direct mail in New Hampshire, doesn't mean that the same list that I'm working in, the same direct mail campaign may be great in your town, America. So all marketing works. Some of it works better than others, but you have to test it and retest it and track it through KPIs to see what is actually going to stick. And it may stick for a period of time, but then it may change over time. So you have to pivot a lot with marketing. You have to track very carefully with marketing. You have to test and retest with marketing. Where we stand here today with my company up in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, we are all based on inbound marketing. We focus on TV ads, SEO, and pay-per-click. Those are all very costly marketing channels, but I have a very high-end qualified sales process, so we can take very few leads and convert them to deals that actually close. I would not recommend these channels for anybody who doesn't have some experience. So that's kind of where we're at today. But we've done them all many times over the years in all the different markets. Some have worked great, some have failed miserably.
Yes, yes, that's something that really is a great takeaway, that you would have no deals, guys, if you're doing no marketing. So, even if you're parking your car and knocking on doors, at least that's marketing because
Yes.
you're causing something to happen. But if you're sitting at home and you're not really causing things to happen in your business, you're not going to advance your business. So this is really quality information. Now, Jeremy, comparing the two, when we're talking about, say, postcard mailings versus the TV, what's your cost per lead? What's your cost per deal on those?
Yeah. So, I haven't done direct mail in a while. And I will say this, when it comes to direct mail, obviously we talked about the conversion cycle, right? So typically what you're going to have is you send out thousands of letters and then you get people to respond and somebody finally is a strong lead. And by the time you close that deal, it's an average of 6 months. So you may not even know if a direct mail campaign is even working for 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months before it actually starts to show an ROI, because the lag effect's pretty huge on it. When it comes to TV commercials, we get a lot less leads, but they are definitely more motivated, higher quality leads, but they do come at a premium cost. We typically close 1 out of every 3 leads that comes in from our TV campaign, which is outstanding. Direct mail, would probably be somewhere between 1 out of every 25 to 35 leads that comes in. And a lead is not just somebody who says, I'm super motivated to sell my house. A lead is anybody comes in that just says, hey, I may be interested, right? I raised my hand, I fit the avatar. It may be a terrible lead, but it's a lead. And, we've been in the business so long that our database is pretty astronomical as well. And we have a lot of systems in place where we're working on our database. And we are huge believers in not just chasing new deals, but really following up with the leads that we have in our database, because the majority of the deals that we do are leads that we've been following up for months, if not years.
I'm glad you brought that up, because follow-up is a key piece, guys. Listen, follow-up is when people are hearing you for the first time, they typically aren't ready to talk to you. They are going to listen, but they're concerned, they're skeptical. Hey, people are more skeptical than they've ever been. And so they're concerned that, hey, you may not have the right thing. That's why we do the certified affordable housing provider. We go in fully loaded. We give them a book. We have a story. We have a presentation process. We have our cost to sell worksheet. We have things that we do to motivate the seller, but also to cement the credibility of who we are and what we do. So guys, if you're just getting started, credibility is so vital, so important. When you have a story to tell, it's a good one, but if people don't know it, they don't know it. So following up, that touch, that ongoing touch, such great advice there.
Yeah. And if I can just piggyback on that for a second, right? So when it comes to the sales side of these things, almost 50% of people in all sales never make one follow-up call, right? So as soon as you follow with the lead from a month ago, 2 months ago, whenever, you're already ahead of 50% of your competition, almost 50% of your competition. And most deals in sales, and specifically when it comes to getting off-market housing properties, most of those deals come between the 7th and 12th touch. And statistically, 1 out of 10 people is only going to follow up an average of 7 or more times. So if you have 10 people going after the same deal and you have to all follow up every month for 7 months, by the time you hit the 7 months, only 1 out of the 10 is going to be remaining. And most people do their deals after the 7th touch. So follow-up's the key to success. Just like you mentioned marketing, nothing without your marketing. Marketing is the lifeblood of your business. And I always like to tell people, Lou, when it comes to wholesaling off-market acquisitions, first and foremost, we are a marketing company. We are a marketing company trying to generate leads. And then our service is providing creative solutions to homeowners or distressed sellers that have unique problems. They may not be so unique to us anymore, but they're unique to them. And we have to come up with creative solutions to get them out of that situation. And the houses that we get are just really a commodity, right? They are paying us for our service through equity in their home. And then we're taking that equity and we're turning it to revenue from our knowledge and expertise.
Excellent, man. That is so true and definitely great advice, guys. Take notes on what you need to do to cause your business to occur. And I'm talking to those of you that have been in the business forever as well, because we all kind of fall back in our position and we think, okay, we got everything rolling along, and you suddenly the market changes, and it changes on a dime and you didn't even see it coming. And
I'm dealing with that right now, Lou. All transparency, I'm doing that right now on the retail side of things. So
yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
yeah,
And when we talk about trends, I like to teach people about the fact that, hey, trends occur because they were already planned, right? The people that are going to make money off the trends have already planned a year to 6 months in advance. And then they start planting the stories and the seeds in media. And then all of a sudden it becomes the truth. It becomes
just like
what's
that.
happening. So we just have to watch what they're up to and take advantage of it. One of the things we do in our business to avoid that issue is to actually find the buyer before we buy. And so we actually are, instead of having an inventory of properties, we have an inventory of buyers. And then we go about custom buying the property at a discount creatively from the seller being the bank, and being able to have something that we can navigate rough markets like that too.
Sure. Yeah, which is great. Yeah, because I mean, the markets are always shifting, and you need to be able to not only survive any kind of trend, but you need to persevere and succeed at it as well. So that's not always easy.
Well, I love talking to you because you're focused on the buying side, and starting out as a wholesaler, starting out as somebody that was learning the business and getting your feet wet and making transactions. And like you said, your first year, 70 grand, 73 grand, right?
Yep.
But you got through 10 transactions, which is phenomenal because there's such a learning curve and you're able to overcome that.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. So somebody just getting started in the business, what would your advice be to them?
It's always the same thing. Get mentorship. I know YouTube University is everything to most people, and a lot of people don't want to spend the money for investing into a coach, but I think you're foolish if you don't. I mean, I risked everything. I sold everything I had in order to take a chance on myself. So, I think getting mentorship's huge. I also think that, analysis paralysis kills more dreams than anything else in this business. Everybody's looking for the perfect situation, perfect deal, perfect scenario. That's why if you go to a lot of your local real estate meetups, you see those people there that are there every single month, getting all the knowledge, but they never act on anything. And you have to just understand that it's never going to be perfect, and you have to just jump all in. And the time is now or yesterday. It's not tomorrow. It's like now. The longer you wait, the longer you're going to wish you got started earlier. And, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to lose some money, but it's okay. Overall, real estate is very forgiving. As long as you're not betting everything on black, which not too many people do, you'll survive the ups and downs, and most of them are going to be ups and a lot fewer downs than you realize in this industry.
Amen. Amen. I always tell people, look, take a look at inflation. It's always going up. It's going to go up for your entire lifetime. It's been with us since forever. It's going to continue to be with us. And that's the reason that real estate can be so forgiving, because you're going to get the benefit of inflation if you own assets. If you don't own assets, you don't get the benefit of inflation.
That's true. Yeah.
So
buy and wait.
Yeah, I'm a buy, hold, sell guy. And definitely love the cash flow that comes from it. So tell us about your portfolio that you're keeping.
Yeah, so various portfolio, it's ebbed and flowed over the years. I'm not big into like how many doors I have or how many properties I have. A lot of times people ask me like how many properties you have, and I have to wait. Like, let me think about this, right? I don't know, because I don't really care about the ego aspect of it. We own some small multifamilies up here in New Hampshire, and I own a couple single families in New York. Once I was doing a lot of business in New York. I look forward to selling the rest of my portfolio in New York and never looking back. It wasn't for me, and we own an Airbnb down in Florida as well that has done pretty well for us overall, although it's starting to get a little more challenging these days to become cash flow, because that state is expensive with taxes and insurance and things of that nature. But, we have a small portfolio of small multifamilies up here in New Hampshire, about 5 or 6 properties. And, they appreciate like crazy every year. We bird them all, so little to no money out of pocket for all of them. The cash flow, okay. Some of them just pay for themselves a little extra. Some of them we can actually make some money out of it. But I'm actually, going forward, I'm actually buying a lot of turnkey properties out of Jackson, Mississippi. I feel like this is going to be a really strong market over the next 10 years. Amazon is building a lot of billion-dollar fulfillment centers down there, which is going to, I think, drive the market and drive appreciation. You can still get, some of the houses I'm getting down there, turnkey at $80,000 all in, crazing for 100, 110, not really having to do much of anything, and they rent for about $1,200 with really good tenants. My property management down there is great. There's very little overhead because, there's really just a 10% and then just the PITI. I don't really have to worry about anything else. Very little maintenance with these properties. And I do expect the appreciation to continue to grow in years to come. So I am trying to take as much of my private lending and knowledge and some of my profits, and I am buying down there. I own 4 as I stand here today. I bought 4 in the past year. I'm going to double down on that in years to come. We'll sit on them for 5 to 10 years and then reevaluate what we want to do from there.
Oh, I love that. I love that. One of the things we've done to augment exactly what you're saying is we give the customer that's living in the property the opportunity at home ownership. So we do what we call the path to home ownership, where we help deserving families end up with home ownership regardless of credit or financial background. So it gets you a better customer, a better mindset, and someone who's going to be looking at that property as theirs instead of yours. So that mindset also gets them in the mode of homeowner in training and taking care of the
property for sure. I love that model
thing. Yeah. And it's an exit strategy. It's a built-in exit strategy
always
with the customer that's in there too. So that's kind of fun. It's very fun. Something that we've done over decades, literally, of developing the program and putting people into it and seeing them achieve that success. So that's an idea for you and for a lot of our listeners today. That's an opportunity for you to take the rental properties that you currently have and convert them into the path to home ownership and really be able to convert those security deposits into money you can spend. How about that? It's a beautiful thing. So tell us, what is your best deal and what is your worst deal?
Well, I could tell you one of my worst deals I'm going through right now. So we bought this property, these 2 properties, 2 dwellings on the same parcel of land, although there's a good amount of distance between them, but they can't be subdivided because the town wouldn't let us. But anyway, distressed situation, realtor brought us in. We took it over actually sub 2 to keep our costs low and to renovate it, and we're flipping it. When we started the process in the spring of this year, we had an end value of about $450,000 to $460,000. That's what we thought the properties would sell for after we renovated it. Fast forward 6 months later, finally got through a little bit of a longer transition due to some struggles that we had with utility companies and things of that nature up in that area. We're all in it for $400,000, thinking, hey, we're going to make about, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in profit here. Well, it turns out the market has said no to that, and now the values of those properties are $360,000. So that is about an $80,000 to $90,000 swing in 6 months, which is unheard of around here. I've never seen it in my lifetime outside of the Great Recession, to be honest. So we're looking at taking about a $40,000 loss. That's if it sells at list price. And the way things are going, it's probably going to be less. My holding costs are going to be more. So we're going to probably take a significant loss on that. So that's probably one of my worst deals that I've ever done. One of my best deals I ever done was, it actually happened, closed out in January this year. It was a property that took us a long time to get there. So we came across this property from one of our marketing sources in Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. And the gentleman had some family members living in it, a brother, but he owned the property and they were basically squatting. Tried to sell it to us as a cash deal. We went down to look at it. The brother and the son started threatening us with violence right outside the door before we could even look at it. We said, we'll take it sight unseen, but we want a greater discount. I ended up buying this house in a suburb of Boston for 25 cents on the dollar, which is very, very rare. Yeah. Had to go through a lengthy eviction process. We tried to negotiate cash for keys and offered a lot of money, over 5 figures in cash for keys to try to help these people leave. And they refused to do that. So we went through basically a 10-month eviction process because Massachusetts is very tenant friendly. And at the end of it, we got them evicted, had to pay for their storage, pay for their move, pay for the clean out. Now it took us almost a year from the time we got it to where we were. So we just cleaned it out. We originally were going to flip it. We decided not to. We cleaned it out, listed it as is on the market after we cleaned it out. And then it sold and we made $200K on that house.
Yeah,
And,
baby.
never had to raise a hammer, just had to wait out the storm. I have none of my own money into it. I use private lending. So my private lender funded 100% of it. They got paid back all the money on the back end plus interest. And we made $200K just basically battling a long eviction. That turned out to be one of our best deals. It set us off on the right foot here in 2025 for sure.
Amen. Amen, brother. That's a great thing and definitely a great inspiration that some of their very best deals come with warts and all kinds of issues. Said, it just is what it is. And I go into those things. I love them. I love title issues. I love situations like that. Oh, bring me your squatters, bring me your title issues, bring me all that stuff.
That's money and opportunity.
It is. The thick skin to be able to get through it. But, that's the thing of really getting with it and sticking with it. One of my favorite sayings, get with it and stick with it.
Love it.
And you can't help but win. So I love that. And I've got some ideas for you offline on solving that other problem for you for sure. So definitely that's an opportunity as well as I see it. So you've just done so well with the business. I just commend you. I think you've really inspired a lot of people in listening to who you are and what you do and just the whole enchilada of what you've been able to do in this business. Not afraid of anything. Let's do that too. Airbnb, let's do, multifamily, single family, let's do it all. And I love that because we never know when we're marketing, we never know what's coming, right? We got a single family and it's a high end or it's a low end or it's this problem or that problem. You just don't know what's going to come. So if you have an open mind to the possibilities and not just say, well, I'm going to buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in a certain neighborhood, forget that. You want to be wide open to the possibilities. Would you agree?
100%. Yeah. And versatility is key in this business. You got to be able to pivot. One of the things that we did a lot during 2021 into 22, really 2022, when the interest rates hiked, we pulled out of flipping properties altogether. We just focused on wholesaling and wholetailing. I think I flipped one house that year, whereas a lot of the flippers were struggling with situations like the worst deal I was just sharing with. They had like all their deals tied up like that. So, and now that we're seeing that the market's shifting a little bit here again, I'm going to stop flipping. I'm going to do my other exit strategy. So we're never going to stop buying, but how we sell will just depend on what the market needs are and what's profitable at the time. What is it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. The coming and going, the ebbs and flows of the market, always being prepared to take a new direction with a property and the marketing that you're doing of the property, it definitely makes a big difference. And that is one of the reasons that we offer owner financing whenever we put a property out so that, and we got 2 prices. One is the cash price and the other is the owner finance price.
Love it.
And when people come along that, hey, they can't fit inside the banker's box, then we have a solution for them too. So you're able to mark up the price on the property significantly and be able to cover what you're doing for a longer period of time and get the cash flow off of it as well.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love that business model.
It's a beautiful thing. So tell us a little bit more about how we can reach you and any other things, parting thoughts that you would like to share.
Yeah, sure. So, you can find me on all the socials, Jeremy Beland, Beland, Jeremy Beland. If you reach out to me and have any questions, I actually take a lot of time out of my day to talk to people along the way. Always happy to help, even if it means I get nothing in return. This business is a great blessing and I'm happy to pay it forward. So you can definitely find me on socials. Also, our REI Freedom brand, REI standing for Real Estate Investing Freedom. We believe in freedom through real estate investing. So we have those socials there. You can reach out to me there. And if it's okay with you, Lou, I'd like to give a free gift to your listeners if they're interested. And this is all about the sales acquisition side. So we have an ebook. It's a free ebook that you can download. And it's our top sales techniques to get more deals, bigger deals, and have less cancellations, which is something that's often overlooked in this business. Everybody talks about contracts, but contracts mean nothing if they don't close. So, and whether you're doing Lou's strategy, my strategy, or another strategy in between, how you communicate to sellers is critical to success in this business. And this is what this ebook is really all about. It's the top sales techniques to get more deals, bigger deals, with less cancellations. And you can just get that for free going to reifreedom.com/gift. That's reifreedom.com/gift. Download it. And if you start implementing that right away, guarantee you have a huge shift for positive gains in your business right away.
Man, what a great share. Thank you so much, Jeremy. You are amazing.
Pleasure, sir.
And keep up the great work and look forward to empty nesting.
Yes, almost there.
We'll see you on the island somewhere.
Can't wait.
It's a beautiful thing. Well, thanks again and look forward to talking in the future. Yeah, baby. We will see you guys real soon. Thanks for tuning in to the whole enchilada of real estate investing. I hope you're feeling ready to take your investing game to the next level. If you're serious about building wealth, you won't want to miss the Millionaire Jumpstart. It's a 3-day live event that's perfect for any level of investor. Whether you're just getting started or you're looking to scale, this can be one of the final steps of making real wealth happen. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now at millionairejumpstart.com and get ready to make big moves in your real estate journey. I'm Lou Brown. Until next time, keep hustling, and remember, it's not about how much you make, it's about how smart you play the game.